Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Austin's Tech Reviews. Today we are going to be looking at the ultimate green team setup. Well, it's not quite the ultimate, it's not the most expensive, it's not the most high-end, but it is still an incredible system. I mean, you're going to be maxing out every game, 1080p, maybe even up to 1440p. 4K, definitely you're going to get playable stuff, medium-high settings on anything. So let's jump right into it. We have the Intel Core i7-5820K. It's a 3.3 GHz 6-core processor. It is a hexa-core by Intel. But keep in mind, Intel uses hyper-threading technology on their i series. So effectively, you're going to have 6 cores, but theoretically you're going to have 12. 12 cores in a system? Jeez, that's going to be crazy. 3.3 GHz is a little bit low, but it is still the most powerful CPU that I have seen out there right now that supports DDR4 RAM besides some Xeons. And plus, you don't want to get into Xeons, not unless you are going to be spending, upwards of $10,000. It's gonna be crazy. But of course, you got to cool this thing. So I chose the Corsair H110i. Blech. It is a liquid cooled, it's an AIO, all-in-one liquid cooler. It's gonna keep your Intel Core i7 pretty frosty, and you can also overclock this processor, so that way you can get some faster rates. Already, this thing's gonna be kicking out some insane Cinebench scores, but just wait until you overclock it. It's gonna be super frosty, and at $120, that is not bad for a dual slot CPU cooler. For the motherboard, I went with the MSI X99A SLI Plus. Ooh, it's an LGA 2011 motherboard. I know it's a couple generations old on the socket type, but so is the Intel Core i7-5820K. It's not the newest, but it is still, that hexa-core thing that I was talking about, So this thing comes with a ton of expansion slots if you feel like using them all in a different case than what's coming up. And overall, this is a pretty nice looking board, I must say, for myself. And the X99 chipset, or the platform, is so nice. Have you ever seen a nicer looking, well, you've probably seen a nicer looking board, but it is still an insanely good looking board. It's going to have everything you need. It's going to have, how many is it? 8-channel RAM, quad-channel RAM support. So if you want to add more later on, that's crazy. And plus, it accepts both DDR3 and DDR4 memory. For RAM, I chose the Corsair Dominator Platinum 16GB DDR4 2666 MHz memory. I know it's devil RAM, but you have to keep in mind, this is DDR4. It is the new technology. There are a couple gripes I have about it. I couldn't find any green RAM to match our green system, but luckily, this Dominator RAM, you can just take off that top panel, that top metal heat spreader. I don't know what you would call that. It's just a couple screws. You can take that off, grab a can of spray paint from your local hardware store, paint the thing green, let it dry, put it back in. There you go. You got some green RAM. And another gripe I have about this is its latency. It has a 15 CAS latency. Now, I'm not so sure about DDR4 and its different technologies over DDR3, but if I saw a CAS latency of 15 on DDR3 RAM, I think I would just shoot myself. That is a crazy amount of latency. It's not that good if it's on DDR3. Now, if it's on DDR4, I don't know the science behind that. I'm not too familiar with that kind of RAM quite yet. I run an AMD system. I won't be seeing that for a while. Maybe in the new AM4 platform, but that's way down the line. Who knows? For the hard drives, I'm going with the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 3.5-inch 7200 RPM internal hard drive. Now, guys, everybody has one of these. It shouldn't come to a surprise that this is going to be in any sort of build. Now, you can go over, you can get a 2TB, 3TB, 4TB. I'm thinking they make up to 12 terabytes now, maybe even more. I don't know. But still, 1TB is all you're going to need. I mean, I have a 1TB in my system. I'm not even a quarter of the way filling that thing up, and I've had my PC for over a year. That's got to tell you something, and I got a ton of games. But it's not only a mechanical hard drive in the system. I also have a Corsair Force LX series 512GB SSD. Now, this Force drive is, obviously, it's colored green, but Corsair has a makes a pretty good name for themselves. Now, Corsair, Kingston, I wouldn't really trust A-Data. I haven't heard much on them. But Corsair is a good brand to go with. And at 512 gigs, that's half a terabyte right there. I mean, come on, store your OS on here, maybe a couple games. I can guarantee you, if you put some games on this SSD, and trust me, it has enough room to hold them, you're going to be getting a lot faster load times. And everybody likes that whenever they're playing video games. And plus, what is a system other than for? I mean, you're going to be spending this much and coming up with the video cards. Of course, you're going to want that faster load time for the ultimate PCMR experience. Speaking of video cards, we have the PNY GeForce GTX 980 4GB video card. This is in two-way SLI, by the way. And I know, it's not the 980 Ti. And if you want to throw that in for yourself, go for it. It's an extra, what is it, 150 bucks. If you want to upgrade both of these, then go right ahead. But I'm just saying, in two-way SLI, it's crazy. You're going to be maxing out every game 1080p, probably even getting high, if not max settings at 1440p as well. Can someone say a Fallout 4 machine? I say yes. Now, these come with 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's really the standard for a high-end video card. But the 980 takes it a step further with its new architecture. It does not take a lot of power, and it pushes out a ton. It doesn't take a lot of power as in electrical power, but it puts out a ton of power as in raw power, and you're going to get them FPS. I can guarantee you that. For the power supply, I chose the Corsair 850 watt 80 plus gold certified semi-modular, by the way. Power supply. You'll see why it's semi-modular in a minute. But, man, I know it's only 850 watts, but this system, it only takes about 600. I mean, you could throw in a 900, maybe even a 1,000 watt power supply, but the 980's architecture, its new Maxwell architecture, it does not take a lot of electricity to run this. Coming up in my later AMD-themed super build, you're going to notice that it's going to take a lot more power to run it because it's not using an architecture similar to the Maxwell, where it's not taking in a ton of electrical power and putting out a lot of raw physical power. But still, you could upgrade this PSU, I don't care, but the 850 watt semi-modular, it's a go. You're going to be good. But of course, you're going to need somewhere to house all these things. For the case, I chose the Lianli PC07S, and oh my god, is this a beautiful case. Let me flash up a couple pictures for you. Look at that. That is... Have you not seen a more beautiful case? If you have, leave a comment down below. I would love to take a look at one. But this is a great looking case, and it's so thin too. I think it's only like 6 or 7 inches thick, maybe even less. I'm not so sure. And some of you may be wondering, but how are those two 980s going to fit in there? That is a 4 expansion slot case. It's nice. And this case also has a couple little brothers, so if you want to build a micro ATX system with one shorter graphics card, you can do that. Here, let me show you a picture. Dude, right next to that monitor and that keyboard, that just gives you some perspective on how small it is. That shouldn't be any much bigger than an Xbox 360, but I can guarantee you're not going to want to put this next to your Xbox or whatever, because this thing is not meant to go underneath the TV and forgotten about. Did I mention that this case and all of these other series cases, the 05, the 06, and the 07, they can be wall-mounted too. That's crazy. I'm looking at my TV right now, and I can imagine right over it, where I am right now, where my American flag is. I gotta move that. I can just imagine that thing just hanging on my wall, putting in some LEDs in there. Oh, it's gonna look so nice whenever I get my money together, because I'm gonna get one of these. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you want to. Don't forget to share this video. If you're wanting more videos like this, leave a suggestion. I'm open to suggestions. So go ahead and leave one, and I'll listen to you guys. Anyways, coming up soon, I'm going to be having my AMD-themed super build. So you better keep on watching out for that. Anyways, guys, have a good day.